think about the use of medications for behavior?
Oh, I think if we start looking at behaviors, the first behavior we better look at is ours. And so if you're talking about medicating me, it might make it harder for me to do my job. So I think we better verify that what we're getting is caused by an internal system that I can't do anything about before I start throwing meds at it, because meds are going inside the person. And a lot of what's triggering a behavior is a situation outside the person combined with what's happening inside the person. And so if we've explored the other options, like we really do, we've explored everything, we've tried everything, and we really are running out of options, and it's risky for the person or dangerous for them, then, yeah, okay, for a short window anyway, let's look. Because most of the meds that we could come up with have side effects or effects that might bleed over into other areas of a possible ability. And it means if I take something away from you, I hope that I'm not taking away more than I anticipated. And in my effort to fix this, I actually made that worse. And so that's always a risk, I think, with looking at a behavior and a medicine as though here's the behavior and this will fix the behavior. Because I've found it rarely is a one-on-one kind of relationship.
So there's so many important points you raised, Teepa, is that it's relatively seldom that a behavior comes on just spontaneously.
Yeah. Yep.
There's almost always a trigger. And the thing is how to avoid and manage that trigger. It's a lot of times it's a little bit of interactional.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot sometimes.
A caregiver who's learned is able to manage the situation without just going to a medicine.
But I think the problem is when we throw one in before we've evaluated possible causation. So even if something's going on inside the person, I want to make sure that the med that we're applying is the best med for what's happening, because I haven't found that antipsychotics or anti-anxiolytics are great for managing a bladder infection. Are they? I mean, maybe that's something I missed in the classes.
Well, unfortunately, that's done even in the hospital. So
yeah, I know.
One of the concepts that you are extremely well known for is the concept of GEMS. Can you talk about GEMS a little bit? Because it's really a prominent concept.
Yeah. Well, when I came into the world of dementia, all we had was early, middle, late. I mean, that's like they're early in their dementia, they're in the middle of their dementia, they're late in their dementia. And it gets sort of confusing because frequently we don't even recognize someone is in their dementia until they're in the middle of the dementia. And we sort of miss that they were in early state dementia. And so then a physician in Massachusetts came up with the global deterioration scale. And we're going to talk about how you deteriorate. And you're going to be deteriorating. After you get to 3, it's all downhill. When you get to 7, it's the end. And it's like, wow, that's harsh. And we talk about the framing was, you can't do this. You won't be able to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. So I thought, God, this just doesn't work for me at all. And so I was using a background of cognitive disabilities, but it was still based on levels. But the problem I was running into, people living with dementia are all over the place. And so I needed a framing where we could see what each person had and see them as they were and respect that. And so I have sapphire is for blue, diamond is clear, also sharp and shiny and hard sometimes to get stuff in, hard for change, and they can cut, but they can also shine. Emeralds are green and on the go and not as clear. And they're always flawed. Emeralds are always flawed, but boy, are they fascinating. And then we have amber, which is sap from a tree, and it's somebody caught in a moment of time and all about sensory intolerance and sensory desire. And then ruby, where skill is lost, but strength remains, and strong and deep and fine motor stops, fine skill stops. So boy, I'm going to have to really be thoughtful about support, but they're still strong in many ways, and they can use music and rhythm. And then finally, we have people who are in a referral state. I mean, we do it every night, but for people at the end state of dementia, they're trapped in this shell of not being able to use their body as well, and yet they're still present. And so with the right support, the shell opens a little and we see this beautiful gem, but it's not like it was. Um, I am living in hope that at some point the stigma that surrounds dementia would cease to be stigma. And we recognize brain change is something we all might experience. So let's celebrate the change and figure out how to live with it. Because I think if we medicalize it too much, then it becomes something that has to be fixed, either with meds or with placements or with humongous changes that break people. And my goal is, let's not break each other. Let's support and heal each other so that we're fine. We're whole. We're not how we were. But there's such joy in infants. There's such joy in toddlers. There's such joy in grade school kids and teenagers and young adults and older adults. And why can we not find the same joy in the changes that might accompany us in later life and still find the respect we have for living life?